The North Atlantic in winter is an arena where the ocean knows no mercy. Here, giant cyclones are born, winds reach hurricane force, and waves grow to the size of multi-story buildings. In January 1968, the era of the great ocean liners was already coming to an end, giving way to jet aviation. Yet, one undisputed king remained on the water, the largest, fastest, and most magnificent passenger ship ever built in America. Its name was the United States. This story is not just about winter weather. It is a detailed chronicle of the infamous Voyage 359, during which the steel giant and its crew faced one of the ocean's most terrifying anomalies, testing the limits of engineering genius and human endurance. Our journey begins in freezing New York. It is January 1968. The temperature is plummeting, and Pier 86 on the Hudson River is blasted by a piercing wind. Passengers hurry up the gangways into the warmth of luxurious lobbies, trusting their lives to a ship that had never been late and had never let them down. The route of the SS United States lay across the so-called Great Circle of the North Atlantic. Leaving the Ambrose lightship astern, the ship set a course east, heading toward the European ports of Le Havre and Southampton. In the summer, this liner crossed the ocean in less than 4 days, but winter dictated its own rules. By the second day of the voyage, the barometers on the bridge began to plummet. An incredibly deep Atlantic cyclone was moving directly toward the liner. The sky merged with the water into a solid leaden mass. The wind strengthened to force 12 on the Beaufort scale, ruthlessly tearing white foam from the crests of giant waves. Modern resort cruise ships in such a situation would change their route to bypass the storm and avoid disturbing the vacationers. But the ocean liners of the past did not have such a luxury. They were obliged to forge ahead through the storm, adhering to a strict schedule. For the crew in this situation, there was one unbreakable rule of heavy weather navigation. The ship must meet the heaviest waves strictly bow on. The elements could not be allowed to strike the broadside. The captain gave the order to keep the ship's heading absolutely unchanged, the silhouette of the United States unswervingly, like a steel spear, sliced through the oncoming waves. It did not retreat before the wind and did not alter its trajectory by a single degree. Its elegant but armored design was perfectly calculated for such a direct confrontation. The climax of Voyage 359 came at night, when the ocean revealed its true face. Out of absolute darkness, straight along the liner's course, an anomalous rogue wave rose up. The documented testimonies of the crew are astounding. The height of this mountain of water was estimated at an incredible 135 feet. That is over 41 meters. When the ship's steel bow crashed into this wall of water at speed, a deafening roar echoed. The impact was so powerful that thousands of tons of freezing water didn't just wash over the bow and the windows of the bridge. A mass of water flew high over the superstructure and slammed directly into the open funnel of the liner's first giant smokestack. A waterfall of salt water poured deep down, straight into the engine room. Any other ship might have lost power, suffered short circuits, or even capsized from such a mass of water up high. But the United States shuddered, shook off the tons of ocean, and stubbornly continued to cut through the waves with its bow. After the rogue wave struck, another terrible enemy awaited the liner: freezing temperatures. Squall winds brought Arctic cold. The seawater flooding the decks froze almost instantly. In a matter of hours, the elegant ship transformed into an ice fortress. The rigging, masts, and the famous red, white, and blue funnels were covered in a thick shell of ice and massive icicles. This ice was deadly. Hundreds of tons of additional weight on the upper decks could shift the ship's center of gravity. However, the ship's brilliant creator, engineer William Francis Gibbs, had foreseen everything. The lower part of the hull was so heavy and strong, and its draft so deep, that the liner maintained absolute stability even under the weight of hundreds of tons of Atlantic ice. While a battle of titans unfolded outside, a completely different reality reigned inside. This contrast seems fantastic today. The ship's walls were so reliably insulated that the roar of the violent ocean was reduced to a muffled hum. In the first-class main dining room, crystal chandeliers continued to shine. Women in luxurious evening gowns and men in tuxedos gathered for dinner. Naturally, after colliding with the giant wave, the rolling was palpable. The deck shifted underfoot so violently that passengers had to hold on to handrails installed along the corridors. The tableware was secured to the tables with special dampened tablecloths. The waiters demonstrated true miracles of coordination, serving hot dishes while perfectly balancing in time with the ship's movements. People didn't just survive in this storm, they maintained their dignity and calm, placing total trust in the strength of their vessel. After several days of this exhausting battle, the cyclone was finally left behind. As the SS United States approached the European shores, it presented an incredible sight. From the shore, it looked as if a ghost ship had emerged from the morning fog. Its entire hull, from the waterline to the tops of the masts, was encased in thick armor of snow-white ice. Port workers had to use special tools, axes, and boiling water to chip the ice off the mooring mechanisms and gangways so the passengers could disembark. Despite the damaged paint, the railings bent by ice impacts, and the water in the engine room, the ship stood proud. It had conquered the ocean once again. Not a single passenger was injured. The secret to such incredible resilience of the SS United States lay in the fact that it was never just a passenger ship. It was a Cold War weapon wrapped in the guise of a luxury hotel. The project was funded by the Pentagon, and the ship was built to military cruiser standards. It featured a double-bottom, reinforced steel hull armor, and two completely independent engine rooms. If one part of the ship sustained a breach from a torpedo or a giant wave, the other would continue to operate. It was this military-grade strength that allowed it to withstand the blows of the elements that would have torn an ordinary cruise liner in half. Furthermore, the ship's creator had a true phobia of fires at sea, making the liner entirely fireproof. The use of wood was strictly forbidden aboard this giant. The furniture was made of special aluminum and fire-resistant glass, and the fabrics from fiberglass. It is said that the only wooden items on the entire massive ship were the two grand pianos in the dining rooms and the butcher's block in the galley. Even the coat hangers in the closets were aluminum. But the liner's greatest secret was its speed. The true power of its turbines remained a U.S. state secret for many years. This steel giant could slice through the waves at speeds exceeding 70 kilometers per hour, leaving even the most advanced warships of the time far behind. Housing such colossal energy within, the SS United States didn't just sail the ocean, it conquered it, forcing even the most terrifying 40-meter waves to break against its impenetrable military bow. The era of transatlantic liners faded into the past with the mass arrival of Boeing jets. The golden age ended, and the great ships, one by one, were sent to the scrapyard. But the SS United States refused to disappear. Where is this Iron King today in 2026? Its fate evokes bitter sadness in anyone who understands the sea. For many years now, this legendary liner has been moored at Pier 82 in Philadelphia. Time, rain, and lack of maintenance have done what the most terrifying storms of the North Atlantic could not. All of its luxurious interiors were stripped away long ago, its famous funnels have faded, and its hull is covered in rust. Today, complex legal battles are being fought over its future. The ship faces a constant threat of eviction from the pier. There are plans to sink it to turn it into an artificial reef on the ocean floor, although maritime history advocates have not given up hope of finding the funds to save it. But regardless of what its final chapter may be, in maritime history, it will forever remain a symbol of absolute reliability. A ship that did not retreat before hurricanes, always held its course and took the blow of a 40-meter wave, emerging from that battle as the undisputed victor.